Hey there folks, quick update on the status of the Death Guard army. So first of all, you might notice that the beard is gone. I finally came round to realizing what a depression beard was actually doing on my face, and I went, let's get rid of that. So I did, and I actually prefer to be baby smooth wherever I can. So that's been quite nice. Not really relevant to the army, except a couple of you did say at the start of that video that introduced the army project, oh, you look good with a beard. Thank you. It's gone. But the reason why I'm making this particular video is to keep you up to date on what's going on and how far I've gotten, and admittedly, to move the goalposts a little bit. Not very far, and I will explain why, because I want to be honest about why I'm performing this little change. So first off, at the moment, I have 30 guys, tactical squads, who are ready for their base and their weathering, right? So they are painted. It's just the finishing touches that have got to be done on them. They have their transfers. They're all ready to rock and roll. But those finishing touches, I want to do it in one big marathon session with all the other miniatures, because I actually find that easier to do. Now, talking about moving the goalposts, having just said I've only finished 30 guys, you can probably see behind me there, I've moved out of my little hobby hole and into slightly more space so that I can have everything out in front of me and just bosh, 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 because the fastest way possible is what I've got to move to now. And as I've been doing it, laying down the metal, the gold, and so forth, I've realized I'm probably not going to make the end of September. So September 30th, October 1st, I don't think I'm going to have the army finished by that point. Painted and dipped, but I don't think I'll have the decals and the basing and the weathering finished to really set it all off. So I think sometimes when we're confronted with the knowledge that we're going to miss a deadline, the mood becomes instead, oh, well, you know, there's not a lot of point in pushing through because I know I'm gonna fail, so why expend the effort? You know, you're giving yourself the excuse, really, to back off and to just let it flop. And I don't want to do that, which is why I looked at where I've gotten, what I've managed, and how long it's likely to take me to actually finish this. And moving the goalposts is what I want to talk about, because at the start of the month, I had painted the Centurion and the Sergeant that was sub-in for half of that video. But that was primed and ready to go from the outset. Like that was the launch. And from then I was going to paint and finish the rest. What happened was that the first 8 days of the month were a complete wash because I couldn't prime anything. It was raining, it was humid, it was dreadful. Now, some of you are likely going to point out, and you are correct here, that if I'd used an airbrush to prime and to base coat these guys, that wouldn't have been a problem. And I understand that, but it's not really a solution to the problem that I was having, because I wanted to use the rattle cans deliberately. The reason behind that is that I wanted it to be something that somebody could walk into their local store, grab off the shelf, or order online or what have you, without needing the space and setup and compressor and all for an airbrush. Now, those of you who've got one, I've got one as well. An airbrush is an incredible tool, but it is an investment of space and a bit of money, of course, as well. So I wanted deliberately to use the rattle cans. The other reason for that is that they do give a slightly different effect, particularly the brain matter beige over the black. It has a funky, grainy, almost kind of a bitty finish to it, which really works for what I wanted to do. And I think I would actually struggle to get that from an airbrush. So airbrush priming, yes, is a very good idea if you've got the space for it, but please appreciate it wasn't really a solution in this instance, which meant out of 30 days, September days, 8 of them, almost a third of the month was completely written off before I could even get started priming. So, with that in mind, the whole premise of this has been, can I finish an army in 30 days? Those first 8 days being shot, what I'm going to do to move those goalposts is look at the 7th of October, which I think is the Monday or Tuesday of the second week. Now that still falls in the 30-day, it is a month worth of time, and I'm pretty sure that even if I don't have them all weathered by that point, I can have them all painted, dipped, and their decals on, and then the rest is just gravy. I do still want to do the video where I tackle the this sodding thing, the Saturnine Dreadnought, right? This thing is enormous. And I actually finished a bottle of Broadsword Silver. I don't know if you can see that terribly well, but the metallics on this are speed paint. And obviously there's a bit more work to do. But once I've got the base coats on that, I then want to do the video where I show you how to dip a vehicle, or use the dip on a vehicle. So that's still to look forward to. I want to do plasma effects and some other cool weathering stuff for another video too. But yeah, realistically, I'm not going to have all of this done by the end of September. So, while keeping to the spirit of the challenge and being honest about where it's gone awry, I wanted to say, I'm going to keep doing it. I want to finish this because having 30 guys done already is actually a lot more stuff than I would have finished if I hadn't set out to do it at all. So I am happy with what I've managed, but I think rather than taking my foot off the gas and saying, oh no, I'm not going to finish. Why? I'm going to lose out on what I will get done if I don't just keep my foot down, go pedal to the metal on this stuff. So, I'm going to get right back to it. I've got 3,000 points of Death Guard to finish. So yeah, look to the 7th of October. That is where I'm going to move the timeline a little, and I think that's fair. That's still in the realm of the spirit of the challenge. So, again, any questions or anything, or thoughts you've got on what I'm trying to do here? It's insane, but I think I'm going to manage it. Let me know. Say hi. Let me know what you're up to with your own hobby at the moment, because it's coming into that time of year where as the days get a little shorter and, we're looking for something to do. Hobby time, finally. So, let's get cracking. Paint some more gold trim.